I have $6 to hire you as my dad. When 7-year-old Emma Grace Sullivan whispered those words to Jack Stone Callahan in a Hells Angels parking lot on a rainy October evening, she had exactly 38 minutes to reach her school's father-daughter hayride. For 14 months, this child in the red dress had been suffering in silence, while teachers, police, and church members praised her stepfather as a saint. But in the 17 minutes between her desperate offer and Stone reaching into that red dress to find what her murdered grandmother had hidden there, everything changed. This is Emma and Stone's story. Before we continue, please subscribe to our channel and follow Emma's story to the very end. Drop a comment telling us which city you're watching from so we can see how far this story travels. Emma Grace Sullivan's small fingers trembled as she counted the money one more time. $6.47. 2 years of birthday quarters from Grandma. Tooth fairy money she'd hidden instead of spent. 3 dimes she'd found in the church parking lot and kept because Derek said finders keepers was stealing, and she wanted to steal something from him, even if it was just dimes. $6.47 to buy 2 hours of safety. She pressed the fabric pouch against her chest, feeling the hard shape of something else Grandma had sewn inside. Something Grandma made her promise never to show anyone until she found the right person. "When you're ready, baby girl," Grandma had whispered in the hospital, her voice thin as paper. "The truth is in the red. Find someone brave enough to believe you." 3 days later, Grandma was dead. Car accident, they said. Lost control on a dry road in perfect weather. Happens sometimes, they said. Emma knew better. She'd heard Derek on the phone the night before Grandma died. Heard him say, "The old woman's becoming a problem. She's been asking questions." She'd heard him laugh. Now Emma stood at the edge of a gravel parking lot, rain soaking through the red dress Grandma made, staring at the most terrifying building she'd ever seen. The Hells Angels clubhouse. 26 motorcycles lined up like sleeping dragons. Men in leather vests with skulls and patches, beards and tattoos and arms bigger than her whole body. Every adult in her life had taught her to fear these men, but every adult in her life had also smiled at Derek Winston and called him blessed. Emma was done trusting the adults who smiled. She took one step forward. The gravel crunched under her 2 small shoes. The blisters on her heels screamed, but she kept walking. A man sat alone on a motorcycle near the edge of the lot. Big, bearded, gray streaking through brown hair. He was staring at nothing, a cigarette burning between his fingers, like he was somewhere far away. Something about his eyes made Emma stop. They looked like hers did in the mirror. Empty, hurting, lost. She recognized that look. "Excuse me." Her voice came out wrong, too quiet. The wind swallowed it. She tried again. "Excuse me, sir." The man's head turned. His eyes found her and something in his face shifted. The cigarette fell from his fingers. For 3 heartbeats, neither of them moved. Then he was off the motorcycle, dropping to one knee in the wet gravel, his massive frame folding down until his eyes were level with hers. "Hey there, sweetheart." His voice was rough, like rocks grinding together, but gentle underneath. "You okay?" Emma's vision blurred. She'd practiced what she would say, rehearsed it 100 times on the walk here. But now the words tangled in her throat, and all that came out was the truth. "I have $6 to hire you as my dad." Stone Callahan felt the words hit him like a physical blow. For 5 years, he'd been dead inside, going through the motions, showing up for club meetings because V8 wouldn't let him disappear completely, working on bikes because his hands needed something to do, visiting the cemetery every week because if he didn't talk to Sarah and Lily, he'd forget the sound of his own voice. October 18th. 5 years ago today, his wife and daughter died. He'd come outside to be alone with their ghosts. And now a 7-year-old girl in a red dress was standing in front of him, offering him everything she had, and God help him, she looked so much like Lily it made his chest crack open. Same blonde braids, messy from rain. Same blue eyes, too old for her face. Same desperate hope that made him want to burn down whatever had put that look there. "What's your name, sweetheart?" "Emma. Emma Grace Sullivan." "Emma Grace." He said it soft, storing it somewhere safe. "I'm Stone. Tell me what's going on." The words poured out of her like water through a broken dam. "There's a hayride at school. Father-daughter hayride. It starts at 6:30 and dads are supposed to come, and I don't have a real dad. He died when I was 2. And my stepdad said I can't go because I was bad, but I wasn't bad. I wasn't. I just asked why Grandma really died, and he got so angry, and he locked me in my room, but I climbed out the window, and I walked here, and I have money. I can pay you. I just need someone to take me and stay with me for 2 hours. Please, I'll give you all of it, please." "Hey, hey." Stone held up both hands, palms out. "Slow down. Breathe for me." Emma tried. Her chest hitched. Tears spilled over. "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know you're busy. I know I'm bothering you." But everyone else said no. The pizza shop people said they were late for a movie. The old man tried to call the police, and I had to run because Derek knows all the police. The church lady said I was lying. They said Derek is a good Christian man, and I should stop making up stories. They said bearing false witness is a sin, and I should apologize to him. But I'm not lying. I'm not. Stone's jaw tightened. "What church ladies?" "From Harvest Hope, where Derek works. He's the youth pastor. Everyone loves him. Everyone thinks he's so nice." Her voice dropped to a whisper. "But he's not nice. He's not nice at all." "Emma," Stone kept his voice steady, even though something dark was building in his chest. "Where'd you get that bruise on your arm?" She flinched, tugging her sleeve down. "I fell." "Emma." "Derek," the name came out like poison. "Derek grabbed me when I asked about Grandma. He said I should stop asking questions or I'd end up like her." Stone's hands curled into fists. "Your grandma, the car accident?" Emma shook her head, slowly, deliberately. "It wasn't an accident. Grandma was trying to stop him. She found out something bad, something really bad, and she told me if anything happened to her, the truth was in the red dress. She said to find someone brave who would believe me when the good people wouldn't." She reached into the hidden pocket Grandma had sewn into the seam. Stone tensed. Instinct. But what she pulled out wasn't a weapon. It was a small plastic bag containing a USB drive and a folded piece of paper. "Grandma made me promise not to show anyone until I found the right person." Emma's eyes met his. "Are you the right person?" Stone took the bag carefully. His fingers were shaking. He didn't know why. He unfolded the paper. The handwriting was shaky, written by someone who knew they were running out of time. "For whoever saves my granddaughter. Derek Winston is not who he pretends to be. Everything is on the drive. 47 children. Names, dates, locations. I am sorry I could not stop him myself. Please protect Emma. She is all that matters." Margaret Sullivan Stone. Read it twice, 3 times. 47 children. His hands stopped shaking. Something else took over. Something cold and certain and very, very dangerous. "Emma, I need you to listen to me carefully. You did good. You did so good coming here, and I need you to trust me now. Can you do that?" She nodded, small, scared, but certain. "I'm not taking your money. You hear me? You're not hiring me. I'm choosing you. Right here, right now. You're under my protection, mine and every brother wearing this patch. That means nobody hurts you again. Not tonight, not ever." Emma's lip trembled. "You believe me?" "Sweetheart, I believe you." He tucked the bag inside his vest, close to his heart. "And we're going to make sure everyone else does too. But first," he checked his watch, "we've got a hayride to get to." "Really? You asked for 2 hours. You're getting 2 hours. And then we're going to handle the rest. Together, okay?" For the first time in 14 months, Emma Grace Sullivan smiled. Stone stood, his knees cracking. 48 years old and felt like 80. But when Emma slipped her small hand into his, something shifted. Something that had been frozen for 5 years started to thaw. V8! His voice carried across the parking lot. Get out here! Now! The clubhouse door banged open. Victor Morrison, chapter president, built like a tank, face like a thundercloud, strode out. The hell's going on, Stone? You were supposed to... He stopped, saw Emma, saw her hand in Stone's, saw the look on Stone's face that he hadn't seen in 5 years. We got a situation, Prez. V8 dropped to one knee, putting himself at Emma's level. His voice went soft, something most people would never believe possible. Hey there, little one. What's your name? Emma Grace Sullivan, sir. That's a beautiful name. You can call me V8. Are you hungry, Emma Grace? She hesitated, then nodded. When's the last time you ate? Yesterday, lunch at school. Derek said I couldn't have dinner because I asked about Grandma again. V8's expression didn't change, but Stone saw his hands curl into fists identical to his own. Well, we're going to fix that right now. Stone, take her inside, get her fed. I'll round up the brothers. Can't. Hayride starts at 6:30, I promised. V8 looked at Stone, looked at Emma, looked at the way she was gripping Stone's hand like a lifeline. Then you better get moving, brother. We'll handle things here. There's something else. Stone pulled the plastic bag from his vest. Her grandmother hid this in her dress before she died, said there are 47 children involved, and the stepdad killed her to keep it quiet. V8 took the bag, read the note. His face went pale, then red, then something beyond color. Go, he said quietly. Take her to her hayride. Give her the night she deserves. We'll find out what's on this drive and we'll handle it. V8, I said go, brother. His voice cracked. That little girl walked through the rain to find help. She earned 2 hours of feeling safe. Now get. Stone nodded, squeezed Emma's hand. Come on, Emma Grace. Let's go find you some dinner and a hayride. They walked toward his truck, and behind them V8 was already calling brothers out of the clubhouse. His voice sharp with something none of them had heard in years. Purpose. Inside the truck, Stone cranked the heat. Emma sat in the passenger seat, small and shivering, the red dress clinging to her thin frame. You warm enough? Yes, sir. You don't have to call me sir. Stone is fine. Okay, she paused. Stone? Yeah? Why did you say yes? Everyone else said no. Even the nice people. Especially the nice people. Why did you say yes? Stone gripped the steering wheel, stared at the rain on the windshield, thought about Lily, who would have been 12 this year, thought about all the nights he'd spent wishing he could go back, do something different, be there when the drunk driver crossed the center line. Because I had a daughter once. Her name was Lily. She was your age when she died. I'm sorry. Me too. He started the truck. And because your grandma was right, sometimes the scary people are the safe ones. Sometimes the nice people are the dangerous ones. Your grandma knew that. She knew it so well that she sewed the truth into your dress and told you to find someone like me. Were you scary before? Stone almost smiled. I'm still scary, sweetheart. Just not to you. Never to you. They drove in silence for a few minutes. Emma watched the streetlights blur past, her reflection ghost-like in the window. Stone? Yeah? What's going to happen to Derek? The question hung in the air. Stone chose his words carefully. The truth is going to happen to him. Whatever's on that drive your grandma saved, it's going to come out. And men like me, men like V8, we're going to make sure it gets to the right people. Police who can't be bought. Lawyers who give a damn. And if the system fails, he let the silence finish the sentence. Will you hurt him? You want me to be honest? Grandma always said honest is better. Then honestly, Emma Grace, I would very much like to hurt him, But what I want and what's right aren't always the same thing. What's right is making sure he never hurts another child, making sure everyone knows what he really is, making sure you and those 47 other kids get justice. What if the police don't believe you either? Then we make them believe. Stone glanced at her. Your grandma didn't just save evidence, sweetheart. She saved proof. Videos, names, dates, the kind of thing that can't be ignored. She was a smart woman. The smartest. Emma's voice wobbled. I miss her so much. Tell me about her. So Emma did. The whole drive to the school she talked about Grandma, about learning to sew and bake and name the stars, about the stories Grandma told of her own childhood, growing up with bikers, learning that family wasn't always blood, about the way Grandma smelled like lavender and always had butterscotch candy in her purse. Stone listened to every word, stored them away, let this child fill the silence he'd been drowning in for 5 years. By the time they pulled into the school parking lot, Emma had stopped shivering. Her eyes were still red from crying, but something else was there now. Hope. Stone? Yeah? I know you're not really my dad. I know I can't hire you, but can we pretend? Just for tonight? Stone turned off the engine, looked at this brave, broken, beautiful child who had walked through hell to find him. We're not pretending anything, Emma Grace. For the next 2 hours, I'm your dad. And after that, we'll figure out the rest. But right now, in this moment, you're my daughter. Deal? Deal. They walked into the gymnasium together, Emma's hand in Stone's. Parents turned to stare. Teachers froze mid-conversation. The room went quiet. A Hells Angels member at a father-daughter hayride. Leather vest, patches, tattoos, everything these people had been taught to fear. Emma gripped his hand tighter. Stone felt her trembling. Head up, sweetheart, he murmured. They're not staring because you're wrong. They're staring because they're scared. Let them be scared. You've got nothing to prove to anyone. She straightened her spine, lifted her chin. They walked to the registration table. A woman with perfect hair and a frozen smile looked up, then looked up further, taking in Stone's full height. Can I help you? Emma Grace Sullivan. She's here for the hayride. The woman's eyes flicked to Emma. Recognition sparked. Oh, Emma, sweetie, we weren't expecting... Mr. Winston said you weren't feeling well. Mr. Winston was mistaken. Stone's voice was pleasant. His eyes were not. She's feeling fine, and I'm her... He's my dad, Emma said. Clear, certain, defiant. The woman blinked. But I thought your father passed. My stepdad isn't my real dad. Stone is. Emma looked up at him. He found me, just like Grandma said he would. Stone felt something crack open in his chest, something that had been locked away since October 18th, 5 years ago. Well, the woman fumbled with her clipboard. I suppose, welcome to the hayride. It starts in 10 minutes. There's hot cocoa by the refreshment table. Thank you, ma'am. They got cocoa. Found a hay bale at the edge of the crowd. Emma sat close enough that their shoulders touched, like she was afraid he might disappear if she moved too far away. Stone? Yeah? Those people are still staring. Let 'em. But aren't you embarrassed, being seen with me? Stone set down his cocoa, turned to face her fully. Emma Grace Sullivan, I need you to hear something. For 5 years I've been invisible, going through the motions, waiting to die because I couldn't figure out how to live without my girls. And tonight you walked into my parking lot and gave me a reason to breathe again. Embarrassed? He shook his head. Sweetheart, I'm proud. Prouder than I've been in a long time. Anyone has a problem with that, they can take it up with me. Emma's eyes welled up. Lily was lucky, having a dad like you. I was the lucky one, Stone's voice roughened. And now I'm lucky again, because you found me. The hayride started. Tractors pulled wagons full of fathers and daughters through a decorated trail. Lights twinkled. Someone sang off-key campfire songs. Children laughed. Emma pointed out constellations. Stone listened, learned, filed away every word. That one's Orion. Grandma called him the hunter. She said he protects people who can't protect themselves. Smart lady, your grandma. She said someday I'd find my own hunter, someone who'd protect me when she couldn't. Stone looked at the stars, thought about Sarah and Lily looking down, thought about Margaret Sullivan, who'd loved this child enough to die for her. Emma? Yeah? I think your grandma was right about a lot of things. The hayride circled back. Parents were collecting children, saying goodbyes. Stone felt Emma tense beside him. It's almost over, she whispered. Then I have to go back. No! Stone gripped her hand. You're not going back. Not to him. Not ever. But my mom, we'll figure it out. I don't know how yet, but I promise you, Emma Grace Sullivan, you are never setting foot in that house again. Do you believe me? She looked up at him. This massive, bearded, tattooed biker who had dropped to his knees in a parking lot for a child he didn't know. I believe you. Good. Now let's... Mr. Callahan, the voice came from behind them, smooth, pleasant, friendly. Stone turned. A man stood there, blonde hair perfectly styled, pressed khakis, polo shirt with a church logo, smile that didn't reach his eyes. Derek Winston. I don't believe we've met. Derek extended his hand. I'm Emma's stepfather. I've been looking everywhere for her. Stone didn't take the hand, didn't move, didn't breathe. Emma, Derek's smile stayed fixed. Sweetie, I was so worried. Your mother's been crying for hours. Why don't you come with me and we can... She's not going anywhere with you. Derek's smile flickered. Excuse me? You heard me. Mr. Callahan, I don't know what Emma's told you, but she has issues. She makes up stories. Her therapist says it's a cry for attention. I'm sure whatever she said, she didn't say anything. Stone stepped between Derek and Emma, blocking his view of her completely. She didn't have to. The truth spoke for itself. I'm not sure what you mean. 47 children, Derek. Names, dates, locations. Ring any bells? The color drained from Derek's face. For 1 second, the mask slipped. Stone saw what was underneath, saw the monster that had been hiding in plain sight. Then the mask was back. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm going to have to insist you step aside. Emma is my stepdaughter, and I'm taking her home. No. This is kidnapping, Mr. Callahan. I'll call the police. Go ahead, Stone smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. I've got brothers on the way, and whatever's on that drive is already being sent to people who can't be bought. So make your calls, Derek. Make all the calls you want, but you're not touching this child. Derek's hands shot out, grabbing for Emma. Stone moved faster. His fist connected with Derek's jaw. The youth pastor went down hard, sprawling on the gymnasium floor. Parents screamed. Children cried. Teachers shouted for security. Stone stood over Derek, breathing hard. Behind him, Emma hadn't made a sound. Stay down. Stone's voice was quiet, deadly. Stay down or I'll give you something worth staying down for. Derek looked up, blood streaming from his split lip, and in that moment, his mask crumbled completely. You don't know what you're dealing with, he hissed. You think you can protect her? I have friends, powerful friends, money, connections. One phone call and you'll be in prison for assault before sunrise. Maybe, Stone crouched down, close enough to whisper, but you'll be in hell, because whatever protection you think you have, it's already burning. My brothers are making sure of that. So make your call, Derek. We'll see whose friends are stronger. The sound of motorcycles thundered outside. Dozens of them, getting closer. Derek's face went white. The gymnasium doors burst open. V8 strode in, followed by 37 Hells Angels. Behind them, Stone could see police cars, FBI vehicles, a swarm of law enforcement. Jack Callahan? A woman in a FBI vest approached. I'm Agent Morrison. We need to talk about the evidence your club just sent us. Talk to him, Stone pointed at Derek. He's the one you want. Oh, we want him. Agent Morrison's smile was cold. But we also want to thank you. That drive contained evidence we've been trying to find for 3 years. You just helped us crack one of the largest child exploitation rings in the Midwest. Derek was screaming now, screaming about lawyers and rights and false accusations. 2 agents hauled him to his feet, cuffed him, dragged him toward the door. He twisted, trying to look at Emma one last time. This isn't over. You hear me, Emma? This isn't... The door slammed shut behind him. Silence. Then Emma was running, throwing herself at Stone, wrapping her arms around him, sobbing into his chest. You did it. You did it. You promised and you did it. Stone held her tight, tight as he'd wanted to hold Lily one more time, tight as he'd never hold Sarah again. We did it, sweetheart. We did it together. V8 approached, his face unreadable. She okay? She will be. Stone looked down at Emma, still clinging to him. She will be. Stone? Yeah, Prez. Her grandmother was right. V8's voice was thick. About all of it. Sometimes the bravest thing a child can do is ask a monster for help. And sometimes the monster turns out to be the only angel in the room. Outside, the motorcycles rumbled. Inside, a 7-year-old girl in a red dress held on to the man who had kept his promise. And somewhere, Margaret Sullivan was finally at peace. The gymnasium emptied slowly. Parents hurried their children away, throwing glances back at the bikers, at the FBI agents, at the little girl in the red dress who hadn't let go of Stone's hand. Agent Morrison approached them, her expression softening as she looked at Emma. Emma, my name is Rachel. I work for the FBI. I need to ask you some questions, but only when you're ready. Is that okay? Emma pressed closer to Stone. He stays with me. Of course, he can stay. V8 stepped forward. What do you need from us? Everything. The drive contained files we've been hunting for 3 years. Videos, financial records, a network spanning 3 states. Morrison's voice dropped. Whoever compiled this evidence knew exactly what they were doing. Margaret Sullivan was thorough. She was a nurse, Emma whispered. She knew how to document things. She said if you want people to believe you, you have to show them proof they can't ignore. Morrison knelt down. Your grandmother was very brave, Emma, and so are you. I'm not brave. I was scared the whole time. That's what brave means, sweetheart, being scared and doing it anyway. Stone felt Emma's grip tighten on his hand. He squeezed back. Where do we go from here? He asked. The clubhouse, for now. We need to debrief, review the evidence, coordinate with local law enforcement. Morrison stood. And Emma needs to be somewhere safe while we figure out her living situation. Her mother, Stone said. Where's her mother? Emma flinched. Morrison noticed. Melissa Sullivan is currently at the Winston residence. We have agents en route, but we need to approach carefully. According to preliminary intel, she may be under Derek's psychological control, possibly medicated without her knowledge. He drugs her, Emma said quietly. He puts stuff in her coffee. She sleeps all the time now. She used to be different. She used to laugh and play with me and take me to the park. But then Derek came and she just stopped. Stone's jaw clenched so tight his teeth ached. We'll get her help, Emma. I promise. Can I see her? Soon, as soon as it's safe. They moved toward the door. The remaining parents pulled their children closer as the bikers passed. One mother actually covered her daughter's eyes. Stone stopped in front of her. Ma'am, that little girl spent 14 months being abused by a man your church called a saint. Every adult she asked for help turned her away. The only people who believed her were the ones you're shielding your daughter from. The woman's face went red. Think about that, Stone said. Think about what it means. He walked out without waiting for a response. The parking lot was chaos. Police cars, FBI vehicles, motorcycles, flashing lights painting everything red and blue. Stone lifted Emma onto the back of V8's truck. "You okay to ride with the Prez? I need to get my bike." "You're coming back?" "I'm coming back, I promise. 2 minutes." She nodded, but her eyes followed him as he walked away. V8 climbed into the driver's seat. "She's tough, that one." "She's had to be." "Stone," V8's voice was serious. "What are you thinking?" "I'm thinking I want to kill Derek Winston with my bare hands." "Get in line." V8 started the engine. "But we do this right. We do this legal. We let the system work for once." "And if it doesn't?" V8 met his eyes in the rearview mirror. "Then we handle it ourselves. But we give them a chance first. For Emma, she deserves to see justice done the right way." Stone nodded, walked to his Harley. The rain had stopped, but everything was still wet, streetlights reflecting off the asphalt like scattered stars. Lily would have been 12 now. She loved the rain, used to dance in it until Sarah scolded her for getting her clothes wet. Stone threw his leg over the bike, started the engine, let the rumble fill the empty space in his chest. For 5 years, he'd been waiting to feel something again. Tonight, a 7-year-old girl with $6 in a red dress had made him feel everything. The convoy rolled out. 37 motorcycles, FBI vehicles, local police, all headed to the clubhouse. Emma watched from V8's truck, her face pressed against the window. The motorcycles surrounded them like a protective wall, chrome and leather and rumbling engines. "V8? Yeah, little one. Are all those men going to help me?" "Every single one of them. And more coming. Brothers from Michigan, Indiana, Kentucky. By morning there'll be 200 of us." "Why?" V8 was quiet for a moment. "Because that's what family does. And you're family now, Emma, whether you wanted to be or not." "I wanted to be." Her voice was small but certain. "I wanted to be since the moment Stone said I was under his protection." "Then you are. Forever. No takebacks." At the clubhouse, the energy was electric. Brothers moving with purpose, phones ringing, laptops open. The old pool table had been cleared and covered with papers, maps, photographs. Torch, the chapter's tech expert, was hunched over a computer, his face pale. "V8, you need to see this." "Emma first. She needs food, dry clothes, somewhere to rest." "I can stay," Emma said. "I want to know what Grandma found." Stone crouched beside her. "Some of this might be hard to hear, sweetheart." "I already know it's bad. Grandma told me it was bad. She said that's why it was so important." Stone looked at V8. V8 looked at Stone. "Let her stay," Stone said finally. "She's earned the right to know." They gathered around Torch's laptop. Emma sat on Stone's lap, wrapped in someone's leather jacket, a plate of untouched food beside her. "Margaret Sullivan was building this case for almost 2 years, Torch said. Hidden cameras, audio recordings, financial tracking. She was meticulous. He clicked through folders. "But this is what matters." A list appeared on screen. 47 names, ages ranging from 5 to 12. Addresses across Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana. "These are the victims," Torch said quietly. "Children Derek Winston and his network were exploiting." "How?" V8's voice was dangerous. Torch hesitated. "Tell me." "Production, distribution, sale." Torch couldn't meet anyone's eyes. "They were running it through the church, youth programs, summer camps, mission trips. Parents trusted them. The church vouched for them." Stone felt Emma go rigid on his lap. "Those are the kids Derek took pictures of," she whispered. "The ones who came to our house. He made them do things. I could hear them crying through the walls. I tried to tell my teacher, but she said I was making up stories." The room went silent. V8's hand came down on the table so hard the laptop jumped. "Names. I want names of everyone involved. Buyers, sellers, anyone who looked the other way. Margaret got them all. Torch pulled up another file. 17 primary buyers, 4 church staff members who helped facilitate, and he paused. This is where it gets complicated. How much more complicated can it get? One of the buyers is a city councilman. Another is a regional director for CPS. The third is the police chief's brother-in-law. Stone closed his eyes. That's why no one believed her, Emma said. That's why they all said I was lying. They were all part of it. Not all of them. Agent Morrison stepped forward. Some of them were just blind. Some were afraid. Some didn't want to believe it. But the ones who knew, the ones who participated, her eyes hardened. They're going down, all of them, tonight. How? Simultaneous raids. We've been coordinating with field offices across 3 states. The moment we confirmed the evidence was authentic, we mobilized. She checked her watch. First wave hits in 40 minutes. What about Emma's mother? Team's already on site. They're waiting for my go. Stone felt Emma tremble. She didn't know, Emma said. Mama didn't know what Derek was doing. He made her take pills. He told her I was sick, that I needed to be disciplined. She believed him because he was always so nice in front of everyone, and I was always so scared and quiet. We know, honey. We're going to help her. Can I talk to her, please? She must be so scared. Morrison hesitated. Let me see if we can arrange a call. She stepped away, phone to her ear. Stone held Emma tighter. It's going to be okay, he murmured. I know it doesn't feel like it. I know everything feels broken and wrong, but we're going to put it back together, I promise. Stone? Yeah? What if Mama doesn't want me anymore? What if Derek made her hate me? The question hit Stone like a knife to the chest. Emma Grace Sullivan, you listen to me. Your mama loves you. Whatever Derek did to her, whatever lies he told, that love is still there. I saw it in your eyes when you talked about how she used to be. That mother is still inside her somewhere. We just have to help her find her way back. But what if? No what ifs. Not tonight. Tonight we deal with what is. And what is that you're safe. You're loved. You have 200 bikers ready to go to war for you. Whatever happens next, you're not facing it alone. Emma buried her face in his chest. I'm tired, Stone. I'm so tired. I know, sweetheart. I know. Morrison returned, her face troubled. We've got a situation. Melissa Sullivan wasn't at the house. According to neighbors, Derek took her somewhere this afternoon. Said they were going on a retreat. Stone's blood went cold. He knew. Looks like it. We're tracking his credit cards, his phone, anything that might give us a location. But if he has her, he'll use her as leverage, Emma lifted her head. He'll hurt her. He told me once, if I ever told anyone, he'd make Mama disappear just like Grandma did. The room went silent. V8's voice was deadly calm. Torch, pull everything. Every camera, every toll booth, every traffic light between here and the state line. If Derek Winston moved that woman, he left a trail. On it. Ghost, call every chapter between here and the coast. I want eyes on every highway, every back road, every gas station. Nobody sleeps until we find her. Done. Stone set Emma down gently. Where are you going? Panic crept into her voice. Nowhere. I'm right here, but I need to make some calls. You promised you wouldn't leave. I'm not leaving. I'm 10 feet away. I'm not going anywhere without you. Understand? She nodded, but her eyes were wet. Hammer, the sergeant-at-arms, appeared with a blanket. Come on, little one. Let's get you set up on the couch. You can see Stone from there. He's not going anywhere. Emma let herself be led away, but she kept looking back, kept making sure Stone was still there. Stone pulled out his phone, dialed a number he hadn't called in 3 years. Marcus, it's Stone. Yeah, I know it's late. I need a favor. Big one. He explained the situation in rapid sentences. Marcus, his former cellmate turned private investigator, listened without interrupting. You're telling me a 7-year-old girl walked into your clubhouse with evidence of a child trafficking ring, and now the mastermind has disappeared with her mother? That's what I'm telling you. Jesus Christ. Can you help? I've still got contacts in the Marshal Service. Let me make some calls. If Derek Winston is running, someone's helping him. People like that don't move alone. Whatever it costs. Stone, this one's free. Just promise me you'll let me know when you find this guy. Why? Because I've got a daughter too. And if someone did to her what this man did to Emma... He didn't need to finish. I'll call you. Stone hung up, looked across the room at Emma, curled up on the couch under Hammer's watchful eye, fighting sleep. She was losing the battle. Her eyes kept closing, then snapping open, checking to make sure Stone was still there. He walked over, sat down beside her, let her curl against his side. Sleep, Emma Grace. I'll be here when you wake up. Promise? Promise. Her eyes closed. This time, they stayed closed. Stone sat in the darkness, feeling her small body warm against his, listening to the chaos of the clubhouse, the ringing phones and urgent voices and clicking keyboards. V8 approached quietly. Anything? Not yet, but we'll find her. We have to. What about Emma? CPS wants to place her in emergency foster care. I told Morrison that wasn't happening. Stone's arm tightened around Emma. Over my dead body. That's what I said. Morrison's working on emergency custody. Given the circumstances, given that you're the one Emma trusts, she thinks we can make it happen. And if we can't, V8 met his eyes, then we figure something else out. But that little girl isn't going anywhere she doesn't want to go. Club voted unanimous while you were on the phone. She's under full chapter protection, whatever that takes. Stone nodded, couldn't speak. You know what today is, V8 said quietly. I know why you were outside alone when she found you. Yeah. Sarah and Lily, 5 years. Stone closed his eyes. And now this. V8 put his hand on Stone's shoulder. I don't believe in coincidences, brother. I think they sent her to you. I think wherever they are, they looked down and saw you drowning, and they sent you a lifeline. V8. I'm just saying, don't miss it. Don't be so busy grieving what you lost that you miss what you've been given. He walked away before Stone could respond. The night stretched on. Reports came in from across the state. Derek's credit card pinged at a gas station near Toledo. Then nothing. Like he'd vanished into thin air. Emma slept through it all, finally safe enough to let her guard down. Around 3 a.m., Torch called Stone over. Found something. Margaret Sullivan's email. Drafts folder. She wrote a letter she never sent. Stone leaned over the laptop, read the words on the screen. Dear Emma, if you're reading this, then I didn't make it. I'm sorry, baby girl. I tried to protect you. I tried to stop him. But some monsters are bigger than one old woman can fight alone. Everything you need is in the red dress. Find someone brave. Not someone who looks brave. Everyone in this town looks brave and good and kind. Find someone who looks scary but has a gentle heart. They're the ones who understand that the world isn't what it pretends to be. I was a biker's daughter once. Did I ever tell you that? My father rode with men who looked like devils and acted like angels. They saved me when I was young. I believe they'll save you too. Trust the ones society fears. Flee the ones society praises. I love you more than stars, baby girl. Be brave, be fierce, be everything I know you can be. Grandma Stone wiped his eyes. She knew, he said. She knew she wasn't going to make it, and she prepared Emma anyway. There's more, Torch scrolled down. A list of safe houses, places Derek uses when he needs to disappear. Margaret was tracking him long before she started gathering evidence. Stone looked at the list. 12 addresses across Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana. One of them jumped out at him, a cabin near Lake Erie. Property records listed it as belonging to a shell company. The same shell company that appeared on Derek's financial records. This one, how far? 3 hours, maybe less if you push it. Stone looked at Emma, still sleeping. He couldn't leave her, he'd promised. But Melissa was out there, scared, alone, possibly drugged, definitely in danger. V8 appeared beside him. I'll stay with her. You go. I promised. You promised you'd be here when she woke up. She's going to sleep for hours. You've got time. Go find her mother. Bring her back. Give that little girl her family. Stone hesitated. Go, brother. I've got her. The whole chapter's got her. She's safe. Stone bent down, kissed Emma's forehead. I'll be back, he whispered. I'm bringing your mama home. He grabbed his keys, headed for the door. Stone, he turned. V8 tossed him something, a GPS tracker. In case Derek's not alone, we'll know where you are. Stone caught it, nodded once. Then he was gone, his motorcycle roaring into the darkness, chasing a monster who didn't know yet that the hunt had begun. Stone pushed the Harley past 90 on the empty highway, the wind cutting through his jacket like frozen knives. 3 hours to Lake Erie. Maybe less if he didn't slow down. He didn't plan on slowing down. His phone buzzed in his pocket. He ignored it. Then it buzzed again. And again. He pulled over, engine still running. V8's number. What? We got another hit. Derek's phone just pinged. He turned it on for 30 seconds near Sandusky. That's on the way to the cabin. I know, but Stone, there's something else. FBI just raided the first 3 buyers on the list. One of them talked. Already? Sang like a bird the second they showed him the evidence. He's claiming Derek isn't the top of the chain. Says there's someone above him. Someone with real power. Stone's grip tightened on the phone. Who? Theodore Marsh. Name ring a bell? Should it? He's a federal judge, appointed 12 years ago, sits on the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals. Stone felt the world tilt. You're telling me a federal judge is running a child trafficking ring? I'm telling you that's what the buyer claims. And Stone? Margaret Sullivan has a file on him too. Torch just found it, hidden deeper than the rest, like she knew this one was more dangerous. Does Morrison know? Not yet. This is above her pay grade, way above. If Marsh gets wind that we're onto him, he could shut the whole investigation down. He has that kind of power. Then we don't let him get wind of it. Stone, if you find Derek and he mentions Marsh's name, I'm not going there to talk, V8. Silence on the line. Just bring Melissa back alive. That's all that matters right now. How's Emma? Still sleeping. She woke up once, asked for you. I told her you went to get her mama. She smiled, Stone. First real smile I've seen since she got here. Stone closed his eyes. I'll call when I have her. He hung up, kicked the bike back into gear. The miles disappeared beneath him. Theodore Marsh, a federal judge, 12 years on the bench. How many cases had he overseen? How many children had slipped through his court? Their abusers walking free because the man holding the gavel was worse than any of them. Stone's mind kept circling back to Emma, to the church ladies who called her a liar, to the teachers who looked away, to the CPS workers who marked her reports unfounded. The system hadn't failed her by accident, it had failed her by design. Someone at the top had made sure the right people looked the other way, made sure the complaints got buried, made sure the monsters kept hunting. Stone pushed the bike faster. The cabin appeared just after 5 a.m., gray light filtering through the trees. Stone killed the engine a quarter mile out, walked the rest of the way. 2 vehicles parked outside, Derek's SUV, and a black sedan with government plates. Stone's blood ran cold. Marsh was here. He crept closer, staying low, using the trees for cover. Voices drifted through the thin walls. You've ruined everything. A man's voice, cultured, controlled. 18 years of careful work, destroyed by a 7-year-old girl and her senile grandmother. I can fix this, Derek's voice pleading. Give me time, I can. You can what? The FBI has the drive. They have the names. They have everything. Not everything. They don't have you. Silence. No, they don't. And they never will. That's why you're going to take full responsibility. What? No, I won't. You will. Because if you don't, I'll make sure your wife joins Margaret Sullivan. And then I'll find that little girl, and I'll make sure she understands what happens to children who don't keep their mouths shut. Stone's vision went red. He moved without thinking. Through the door, into the room. Derek spun around. His face went white. You. Me. The other man, Theodore Marsh, was exactly what Stone expected. Silver hair, distinguished features, the kind of face you'd trust with your children, your future, your life, the kind of face that hid the worst kind of evil. Mr. Callahan, I presume. Marsh's voice didn't waver. The biker who's been playing hero. Where's Melissa? She's safe, for now. That's not what I asked. Marsh smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. You're out of your depth, Mr. Callahan. Do you have any idea who I am? What I can do? One phone call and you'll spend the rest of your life in a cell. One more phone call and that little girl you're so fond of will disappear into the foster system so deep no one will ever find her. Make the calls. Marsh blinked. I'm sorry? Stone stepped closer. Make the calls. See what happens. Because here's what you don't know. V8 has the files. All of them, including the one Margaret Sullivan kept on you. Encrypted, hidden, waiting for exactly this moment. Marsh's composure cracked. Just a fraction, but Stone saw it. You're bluffing. Try me. Derek made a break for the back door. Stone caught him by the collar, slammed him against the wall. Where is she? Basement, Derek gasped. She's in the basement. Please, I didn't hurt her. I just needed leverage. Stone's fist connected with Derek's jaw. The man crumpled. Stone! Marsh's voice had changed, softer now, reasonable. Let's discuss this like civilized men. I'm sure we can come to an arrangement. Money, protection, whatever you need. There's no reason for anyone else to get hurt. You're right, Marsh relaxed slightly. There's no reason for anyone else to get hurt. That's why you're going to sit down, shut up, and wait for the FBI to arrive. The FBI works for me, don't you understand? I've spent 12 years building this network, placing the right people in the right positions. Do you really think? Stone's phone rang. He answered without looking away from Marsh. Yeah. Stone, it's Morrison. We just picked up 3 more buyers. One of them had files. Backup files, including communications with someone called the judge. That would be Theodore Marsh, federal judge, 6th Circuit. He's standing in front of me right now. Silence on the line. Did you say Theodore Marsh? That's what I said. Stone, do not engage. Do you understand me? This is bigger than... He threatened Emma. He threatened Melissa. And he's been trafficking children for 18 years. I understand, but I'm done waiting for the system to work, Morrison. The system is what let this happen. He hung up. Marsh was reaching for something in his jacket. Stone crossed the room in 3 steps, grabbed his wrist, twisted. A gun clattered to the floor. Civilized men, Stone said. Right. He zip-tied Marsh to a chair, did the same to Derek, who was still groaning on the floor. Then he found the basement door. The stairs creaked under his weight. The air was cold and damp. At the bottom, a single bare bulb illuminated a small room. Melissa Sullivan sat in the corner, hands bound, duct tape over her mouth. Her eyes were glazed, unfocused, the look of someone who'd been drugged into compliance. But when she saw Stone, something sparked. Melissa, can you hear me? She nodded weakly. He cut her bonds, pulled the tape as gently as he could. Emma, she whispered. Where's Emma? She's safe. She's at my clubhouse, surrounded by people who would die to protect her. Tears streamed down Melissa's face. I believed him. I believed everything he said. He told me Emma was sick, that she was making up stories, that she needed to be controlled for her own good. And I believed him because I was so tired and confused, and the pills made everything fuzzy, and I couldn't think clearly, and, oh God, what have I done? What have I let him do? Hey, Stone gripped her shoulders. Listen to me. This isn't your fault. Derek Winston is a monster who spent years manipulating you. He drugged you. He isolated you. He made you doubt your own daughter. That's not your failure. That's his crime. But I should have known. I should have seen. You're seeing now. That's what matters. He helped her stand. Her legs were shaky, but she found her balance. I want to see Emma. I'm taking you to her right now. They climbed the stairs. Marsh was still tied to the chair, his face a mask of barely contained rage. This isn't over, he said as Stone passed. You have no idea what you've started. Stone stopped. You're wrong. I know exactly what I've started. And so does Emma. And so does Margaret Sullivan, wherever she is. You can threaten me all you want, but the truth is out now, and no amount of power can put it back in the box. He led Melissa outside. The sun was rising, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. Stone? Yeah? Emma really asked for you? She really trusted you? She walked through the rain to find me. She offered me everything she had, and she didn't give up, even when everyone else failed her. Melissa started crying again. She's so strong, so much stronger than me. She's strong because of you, because somewhere inside her, she remembers the mother who used to take her to the park, who used to laugh with her, who loved her. That's the mother she's been fighting to find. What if I can't be that person again? You already are. You just have to let yourself believe it. His phone buzzed. V8. She's awake. She's asking for you. 20 minutes. We're on our way. Stone put Melissa on the bike behind him. She held on tight, her face pressed against his back. The ride back felt shorter, maybe because the worst was over. Maybe because for the first time in months, there was something to ride toward instead of away from. V8 met them in the parking lot. Behind him, Emma stood in the doorway, still wrapped in the leather jacket, her eyes wide. Mama? Melissa stumbled off the bike. Emma, oh God, Emma, I'm so sorry. Emma ran. She hit her mother with enough force to knock them both to the ground, but neither of them cared. They held each other, sobbing, rocking back and forth. I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. I should have protected you. I should have believed you. I'm sorry. It's okay, Mama. It's okay. Stone saved you. Stone saved both of us. Stone stood back watching. V8 moved beside him. Marsh? Tied up at the cabin. FBI's on the way. And Derek? Same, though I might have broken his jaw. Shame. Stone almost smiled. There's something else, V8 said quietly. While you were gone, Torch dug deeper into Margaret's files. She wasn't just documenting Derek's crimes. She was building a case against the entire network. Every buyer, every facilitator, every official who looked the other way. How many? 43 people, including 6 police officers, 4 CPS workers, 2 judges, and a state senator. Stone felt the weight of it settle on his shoulders. This is going to blow up. It already has. Morrison's been fielding calls from Washington all morning. They're trying to contain it, but it's too late. The story's already leaked. By tonight, it'll be national news. And Emma? She's at the center of it all. The girl who brought down a trafficking ring. The media's going to want her story. Stone watched Emma and Melissa, still wrapped in each other's arms. No media, no interviews. She's a child, not a symbol. Agreed. But Stone, there's something else you should know. What? V8 handed him a piece of paper, a legal document. Emergency custody hearing. Tomorrow morning. The state wants to place Emma in foster care while Melissa undergoes psychological evaluation. Stone's jaw tightened. She just got her mother back. I know, but the wheels are already in motion. Unless someone steps up to take temporary guardianship, I'll do it. V8 studied him. You sure about that, brother? You're talking about responsibility for a traumatized child. It's not like babysitting for a few hours. I promised her she'd be safe. I promised her I wouldn't leave. I'm not breaking that promise. The court might not see it that way. A single man, biker, ex-con. Then we make them see it, whatever it takes. V8 nodded slowly. I'll make some calls. We've got a lawyer in Michigan who owes us. Good one. He'll know what to do. Stone walked toward Emma and Melissa. They looked up as he approached. Stone. Emma reached for him, and he crouched down to take her hand. You brought her back. You really brought her back. I told you I would. Are we safe now? Is it over? Stone looked at Melissa, then back at Emma. The bad men are caught. They can't hurt you anymore. But there's still some stuff we need to figure out. Legal stuff. Boring adult stuff. Like what? Like making sure you and your mama can stay together while she gets better. Like making sure no one tries to separate you again. Emma's grip tightened. You won't let them take me, right? You promised. I promised, and I keep my promises. Melissa reached out, touched Stone's arm. Thank you. I don't even know what to say. You saved my daughter. You saved me. You believed her when I couldn't. She's easy to believe. She said you have a daughter too. Had. I'm sorry. Stone felt the familiar ache, but it was different now, softer, like a wound finally starting to heal. Her name was Lily. She was Emma's age when she died. I think she'd be glad Emma found me. Stone? Emma's voice was small. Do you think Lily and Grandma are friends now? In heaven? Stone's throat closed up. Yeah, sweetheart. I think they're best friends. And I think they're both really proud of you. Agent Morrison arrived an hour later. She looked exhausted, but triumphant. Marsh is in custody. Derek's been processed. We've made arrests in 3 states. This is the biggest takedown I've ever been part of. And the children? All 47 have been located. We're working with child services to ensure they get proper care. Some will need extensive therapy. Some will need protection from family members who were complicit. She paused. This wouldn't have happened without you, Stone. Without Emma. Don't tell us, tell the court. Emma needs to stay with people who love her, not get shuffled into foster care. I've already submitted my recommendation. For what it's worth, I've never met a 7-year-old braver than her, or a biker more committed to protecting her. Will it be enough? Morrison looked at Emma, now asleep on the couch, Melissa beside her, their hands intertwined. It should be, but Stone, be prepared to fight. The system doesn't like outsiders, especially outsiders who make it look bad. I've been fighting my whole life. One more battle won't break me. That's what I'm counting on. She left. The clubhouse slowly settled into a strange kind of peace. Brothers came and went, checking on Emma, bringing food, offering help. The old ladies arrived with clothes and toys and things a little girl might need. By evening, the news had broken nationally. Every channel showed Derek Winston's mugshot, Theodore Marsh's arrest, the scope of the ring they'd built. And in every story, buried in the details, was a mention of a 7-year-old girl who'd walk through the rain to ask strangers for help. Stone sat beside Emma's sleeping form, watching her breathe. Tomorrow he'd fight for custody. Tomorrow he'd face a system that had failed her over and over. Tomorrow he'd prove that sometimes the people society fears most are the only ones worth trusting. But tonight, he just sat and watched and let himself believe, for the first time in 5 years, that maybe the world could still surprise him. Maybe broken people could find each other. Maybe $6 really could buy a miracle. The courthouse steps felt like climbing a mountain. Stone adjusted his tie for the 5th time. V8 had made him wear a suit. First time in 15 years. The fabric felt like a cage, but he understood why. Today wasn't about who he was. Today was about who Emma needed him to be. You ready, brother? V8 stood beside him, also suited up, looking just as uncomfortable. No. Good answer means you understand what's at stake. Inside the hallway stretched forever. Lawyers in expensive shoes, social workers with clipboards, families waiting for their futures to be decided by strangers. Emma sat on a bench between Melissa and Agent Morrison. She wore a new dress, blue this time, bought by one of the club's old ladies. Her hair was brushed and braided. She looked like any normal 7-year-old, except for her eyes. Her eyes were 100 years old. Stone! She jumped up when she saw him, ran across the hallway, wrapped her arms around his waist. Hey, sweetheart, how you holding up? Scared. Me too. Really? Really. But we're going to be scared together. That makes it easier. The courtroom doors opened. A bailiff called their case number. Stone took Emma's hand. Melissa took the other. Together they walked in. Judge Patricia Coleman sat behind the bench. Late 60s, gray hair pulled back tight, reading glasses perched on her nose. She looked at Stone the way most people looked at Stone. Suspicion, judgment, fear. He was used to it. The state's attorney spoke first, young, eager, the kind of lawyer who saw cases instead of people. Your Honor, the state is requesting that Emma Grace Sullivan be placed in emergency foster care pending full evaluation of her home situation. Her mother, Melissa Sullivan, is currently undergoing treatment for substance dependency and psychological manipulation. She is not fit to... Objection! Stone's lawyer, David Chen, rose smoothly. Mrs. Sullivan was drugged without her knowledge by her former husband, Derek Winston. This is documented in FBI reports. She is a victim, not a neglectful parent. Regardless of the cause, she is currently unable to provide adequate care, which is why Mr. Callahan has petitioned for temporary guardianship. The state's attorney laughed. Actually laughed. Mr. Callahan is a convicted felon, a member of the Hells Angels motorcycle club. He has no biological relationship to the child and no experience in childcare. The state cannot, in good conscience. The state's conscience is exactly why we're here today. The voice came from the gallery. Agent Morrison stood, her FBI badge visible on her belt. Your Honor, may I address the court? Judge Coleman looked surprised but nodded. Morrison walked forward. I've been with the Bureau for 18 years. I've worked crimes against children for 12 of those years. I've seen hundreds of cases where the system failed children, where CPS dropped the ball, where police ignored warning signs, where good families were torn apart while abusers walked free. She paused. Emma Grace Sullivan's case is different. Not because the system worked, it didn't. 4 separate reports were filed about abuse in the Winston household. All 4 were marked unfounded. The CPS supervisor who made those decisions is currently under federal indictment for accepting bribes from Derek Winston. The courtroom went silent. The system didn't just fail Emma. The system was weaponized against her. And when every door closed, when every adult she trusted turned away, she walked 2 miles through the rain to find someone who would believe her. Morrison looked at Stone. That someone was Jack Callahan, a man the state calls unfit, a man with a criminal record and a leather vest and tattoos that scare people. But Your Honor, in my 18 years of law enforcement, I have never seen anyone fight harder for a child they just met. I've never seen anyone put their life on the line with less hesitation. I've never seen anyone keep their promises more faithfully. Agent Morrison, this is highly irregular. What's irregular is a 7-year-old girl with evidence of 47 trafficking victims being ignored because the people who should have protected her were part of the problem. Morrison's voice shook with controlled anger. What's irregular is a grandmother being murdered for trying to expose the truth. What's irregular is a federal judge running a child exploitation ring while the system looked the other way. She turned back to Judge Coleman. Emma Sullivan needs stability. She needs someone who believes her. She needs someone who has proven, through action, that he will never abandon her. That person is Jack Callahan. Not because he's perfect, but because when perfection failed her, he didn't. Morrison sat down. The silence stretched. Judge Coleman removed her glasses, rubbed her eyes. Mr. Callahan approached the bench. Stone walked forward, his heart hammered against his ribs. Tell me why I should grant this petition, in your own words. Stone looked at Emma. She was watching him with those ancient eyes, trusting him, believing in him. He turned back to the judge. Because I promised her. Promised her what? That she'd be safe, that I wouldn't leave, that I'd be there when she woke up. Those are just words, Mr. Callahan. No, Your Honor, they're not. Words are what Derek Winston gave her. Words are what the church gave her. Words are what CPS gave her. Pretty words, empty words. Words that sounded good and meant nothing. Stone's voice hardened. I don't give empty words. I've done time. I've made mistakes. I've got a record that'll follow me forever. But I've never broken a promise to someone who trusted me. And I'm not going to start with Emma. You're a single man with no childcare experience. How do you expect to? With help. From my club. From Melissa, once she's recovered. From the community of people who've already stepped up to support Emma. I'm not doing this alone. I'm doing this with a family. It's not the kind of family the state recognizes. It's not the kind of family that looks good on paper, but it's the kind of family that shows up. And if the state denies your petition, Stone met her eyes, then I'll appeal. And if that fails, I'll appeal again. And I'll keep fighting until someone with power does the right thing. Because Emma deserves better than what she's been given. And I'm not going to stop until she gets it. Judge Coleman was quiet for a long moment. Emma looked up. Come here, please. Stone helped her stand, walked her to the bench. She was trembling. Do you understand what we're deciding today, Emma? Yes, ma'am. You're deciding who takes care of me while Mama gets better. That's right. And I want to ask you a question. You can answer however you want. There's no right or wrong answer, okay? Okay. Who do you want to stay with? Emma didn't hesitate. Stone. Can you tell me why? Emma's chin lifted. The same defiant stance Stone had seen in the parking lot 3 days ago. Because he was the first person who believed me. Because he didn't ask questions or tell me I was lying or try to call police who wouldn't help. He just knelt down and promised I'd be safe. And then he kept his promise. Every single time. Her voice wavered but held. Mama loves me. I know she does. But she's sick right now because of what Derek did to her. She needs to get better. And while she's getting better, I need to be with someone I trust. I trust Stone. What about foster care? There are nice families who would... No. The word came out sharp. I don't want nice families. Nice families let me down. Nice teachers let me down. Nice church ladies let me down. I want Stone. I want V8 and hammer and torch. I want the scary people who turned out to be the only people who cared. Judge Coleman's expression shifted. Something like recognition. Something like respect. You're very brave, Emma. That's what Stone says. He says brave means being scared and doing it anyway. He's right. The judge looked at Stone for a long moment. He's absolutely right. She turned to the courtroom. The state's petition for foster placement is denied. Temporary guardianship is granted to Jack Callahan, contingent on continued cooperation with Child Protective Services and regular progress reports. Permanent custody will be revisited in 90 days, pending Mrs. Sullivan's recovery. The gavel came down. Emma screamed, not in fear this time, in joy. She launched herself at Stone. He caught her, lifted her, held her tight. You did it! You did it! We did it, sweetheart. We did it together. Melissa was crying, but she was smiling too. She mouthed, thank you, across the courtroom. V8 clapped Stone on the back. Not bad for a convicted felon. Shut up. But Stone was smiling. For the first time in 5 years, he was really smiling. Outside the courthouse, reporters waited. Cameras, microphones, questions shouted from every direction. Stone shielded Emma with his body. No comment, no interviews. She's a child, not a story. They pushed through to the parking lot, where 40 motorcycles waited in formation. Emma's eyes went wide. They all came? They all came, V8 grinned. The whole chapter, and a few extras from Michigan. The brothers roared their approval as Stone emerged with Emma. Horns honked, engines revved. Stone! Emma tugged his sleeve. Yeah? Can I ride with you? You want to? I've never been on a motorcycle before. Stone looked at V8. V8 shrugged. Got a spare helmet in my saddlebag, kid size. Don't ask why. Stone took the helmet, knelt down to Emma's level. You hold on tight, okay? Arms around my waist. Don't let go. I never let go. They rode through town in a convoy of chrome and thunder. Emma pressed against Stone's back, her small arms wrapped around him, watching the world blur past. For the first time in 14 months, she felt free. The celebration at the clubhouse lasted hours. Food, music, laughter. Emma was passed from brother to brother, each one telling her how brave she was, how proud they were. She fell asleep on Stone's lap around 10, exhausted but peaceful. V8 brought Stone a beer, sat down beside him. You know this is just the beginning. I know. The trials are coming. Marsh, Derek, the buyers. Emma might have to testify. I know. You ready for that? Stone looked down at the sleeping child in his arms. I'm ready for whatever she needs me to be ready for. And if Melissa doesn't recover, if she can't take Emma back, then I keep her, permanently, if she'll have me. V8 was quiet for a moment. You've changed, brother. In 3 days, you've changed more than in 5 years. She changed me, walked into my life with $6 and a red dress, and reminded me what matters. Sarah and Lily would be proud. Stone felt tears prick his eyes. I hope so. God, I hope so. The days became weeks. The weeks became a rhythm. Stone learned to make breakfast, learned to braid hair, learned the names of cartoon characters and the plots of children's books. Emma went back to school, escorted by a rotating guard of bikers that terrified the staff but made her feel safe. Melissa progressed through treatment. Twice a week she had supervised visits with Emma. The first few were awkward, full of guilt and tears, but slowly, painfully, they rebuilt. Stone watched from the edges, ready to step in if needed, but giving them space to heal. The trials began in December. Derek Winston went first. The evidence was overwhelming. Video files, financial records, testimony from 23 victims. He tried to plead insanity. The jury didn't buy it. Life without parole. Emma didn't testify. Morrison worked with prosecutors to spare her, using the mountain of other evidence instead. But Emma watched the verdict on TV, sitting between Stone and Melissa. Is it over? She asked. Derek's over, Stone said. But there's more. Marsh. Yeah, Marsh. Theodore Marsh's trial was bigger. National news. A federal judge accused of running a trafficking ring. The highest profile prosecution in decades. The defense was aggressive. Character witnesses paraded through, attesting to Marsh's integrity. His lawyers tried to discredit the evidence, claiming Margaret Sullivan had been delusional, vindictive, a conspiracy theorist. Then the prosecution called its final witness, Emma Grace Sullivan. Stone tried to stop it, begged Morrison to find another way, but Morrison was honest with him. Without Emma's testimony, there's a chance Marsh walks. His lawyers are good. The jury needs to see who this case is really about. She's 7 years old. I know, and she's the bravest 7-year-old I've ever met. But it has to be her choice, Stone. Not yours, not mine. Hers. Stone sat Emma down that night. You don't have to do this, you understand? Whatever happens, you don't have to. But he might go free if I don't. That's not your responsibility. Yes, it is, Emma's jaw set. Grandma died for this. She spent years collecting evidence. She sewed the truth into my dress and told me to find someone brave. I found you. Now it's my turn to be brave. Emma, you said brave means being scared and doing it anyway. I'm scared, Stone. I'm really scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because if I don't, and he hurts more kids, I'll never forgive myself. Stone pulled her into his arms. I'll be right there, front row. You look at me if you get scared. Just look at me and remember you're not alone. Promise? Promise. The courtroom was packed. Media filled every available seat. Marsh sat at the defense table, his expression confident, even smug. That confidence wavered when Emma walked in. She wore the red dress. Stone hadn't known she was going to, hadn't known it had been preserved in an evidence locker. But there she was, 7 years old, blonde braids, red fabric, walking past the man who had ordered her grandmother killed. She didn't look at him. She looked at Stone. He nodded. Once. I'm here. You're not alone. She took the stand. The prosecutor was gentle. Emma, can you tell the court about the night you found the evidence your grandmother collected? Grandma was sick. In the hospital. She knew she was dying. She called me to her bed and held my hand and told me the truth was in the red dress. She said to find someone brave who would believe me when the good people wouldn't. Did she say why? She said there were men hurting children, bad men who wore nice clothes and went to church and made everyone think they were good. She said one of them was the worst of all, a judge who was supposed to protect people but hurt them instead. Did she say his name? Theodore Marsh. The courtroom erupted. The judge banged his gavel. Marsh's confidence cracked. What happened after your grandmother died, Emma? Derek got worse. He knew Grandma had been collecting evidence. He tore the house apart looking for it, but he never found it because it was in my dress, in a secret pocket Grandma made. Why didn't you show anyone? I tried. I showed the church ladies. They said I was lying. I showed my teacher. She said I was troubled. I showed a police officer. He laughed and said Derek was a good man. Nobody believed me. Nobody. So what did you do? Emma's voice strengthened. I walked to the Hells Angels clubhouse. I had $6 saved up. I was going to hire someone to be my dad for the night so I could go to the school hayride and be safe for 2 hours. I thought if the good people wouldn't help me, maybe the scary people would. And what happened when you got there? Emma looked at Stone. Stone was sitting alone. He looked so sad. I asked him for help, and he knelt down in the rain and promised I'd be safe. And he kept his promise. He believed me when nobody else would. What would you like to say to Mr. Marsh, Emma? The defense attorney shot to his feet. Objection! Overruled. The witness may answer. Emma turned, looked at Theodore Marsh for the first time. You killed my grandma. You hurt all those kids. You made everyone believe you were good when you were the worst person of all. But you didn't win. Grandma stopped you. Stone stopped you. I stopped you. And now everyone knows what you really are. Her voice didn't waver. You thought you were powerful, but you're just scared. Scared of the truth. Scared of people finding out. Scared of little girls with $6 in red dresses who don't give up. She stood up. I'm not scared of you. Not anymore. And I never will be again. The jury deliberated for 45 minutes. Guilty on all counts. Theodore Marsh was sentenced to 4 consecutive life terms. No possibility of parole. He screamed as they led him away, cursed Emma's name, swore he'd find a way out. Emma watched him go with dry eyes. Is it over now, Stone? It's over, sweetheart. It's really over. She turned and wrapped her arms around him. Can we go home now? Home. Stone felt the words settle into his chest. Yeah, Emma Grace. Let's go home. 2 years passed like water through open fingers. Emma Grace Sullivan, now 9 years old, stood in front of the bathroom mirror practicing her speech for the 10th time. Her hands were shaking, but she didn't try to stop them. Stone had taught her that shaking hands meant you cared about something. Caring wasn't weakness. "You almost ready, sweetheart?" Stone's voice came from the hallway. She could hear him fumbling with his tie, cursing under his breath. "Almost. Are you?" "This tie is trying to kill me." Emma laughed. A real laugh. The kind she couldn't make for years. "Mama said she'd help you." "Mama's still doing her hair. We're going to be late." "We're not going to be late. V8 said they won't start without us." She heard Stone grumble something about V8 being a pain in his ass. She smiled at her reflection. 2 years ago, she couldn't smile. 2 years ago, she couldn't laugh. 2 years ago, she was a ghost, trapped in a house of horrors, counting her $6, waiting for a chance to escape. Now she had a home, a real home, with Stone and Mama and a family that rode motorcycles and wore leather and scared everyone except her. "Emma." Melissa appeared in the doorway. Her hair was done. Her eyes were clear. No more pills, no more fog. 2 years of therapy and hard work in fighting her way back to the mother she used to be. "You look beautiful, Mama." "So do you, baby." Melissa's voice caught. "That dress." Emma looked down. The red dress. Grandma's dress. She'd grown so much it barely fit anymore, but she'd insisted on wearing it today. For Grandma, for everything the dress represented. "I had to wear it, you know." "I know." Melissa crossed the room, knelt beside her daughter. "Your grandmother would be so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. What you've become, what you've done, who you're helping now." "Mama, don't. You're going to make me cry, and I haven't even given my speech yet." Melissa laughed through her own tears. Okay, save it for later. We'll cry together." "Promise?" "Promise." Stone appeared in the doorway, tie crooked, beard trimmed for the first time in weeks, looking uncomfortable in his suit. "Ladies, if we don't leave in the next 2 minutes, I'm riding my bike and you can take the car." "Your tie's crooked." "I know." Emma walked over, stood on her tiptoes, fixed his tie with practiced fingers. "There, now you look like a proper dad." Stone went still. In 2 years, she'd never called him that. Not directly, not out loud. "Emma, I know you're not my real dad. I know my real dad died when I was 2, and I don't even remember him. But you're the dad I chose. You're the dad who chose me. And I think that counts for more." Stone's eyes were wet. "It counts for everything, sweetheart. Everything." Melissa put her hand on Stone's arm. "She's right, you know. You've been more of a father to her than Derek ever pretended to be. More of a father than most biological parents I've seen. I just kept my promises. That's exactly what makes you a father." They drove to the clubhouse in Stone's truck. Melissa sat in the middle, Emma by the window, watching the familiar streets pass by. 2 years ago, she'd walked these streets in terror. Now she waved at neighbors who knew her name. The owner of the pizza shop honked his horn. The woman who ran the accounting office smiled and gave a thumbs up. The world had changed. Or maybe Emma had changed the world. The parking lot was full. Not just motorcycles this time. Cars, vans, buses from other states. The annual gathering of the Margaret Sullivan Foundation had grown beyond anything they'd imagined. V8 met them at the door. "There she is, our girl." "Hey, V8. You nervous?" "Terrified." "Good. Best speeches come from terrified people. They've got something real to say." Inside, the crowd was overwhelming. 200 bikers, 500 family members and supporters. Media kept at a respectful distance. Survivors from the case, some with their families, some alone but healing. And in the front row, 47 seats reserved for the children Derek Winston and Theodore Marsh had hurt. 47 survivors who were still fighting their way back to normal. Emma had met most of them over the past 2 years. Some were younger than her, some were teenagers now. All of them carried scars that didn't show on the outside. All of them called her brave. She didn't feel brave. She felt like a 9-year-old girl in a red dress that didn't fit anymore, about to speak to 500 people about the worst thing that ever happened to her. "You okay?" Stone appeared beside her. "No." "Want to skip it?" "No." "That's my girl." The ceremony began. V8 took the stage, looking uncomfortable with the microphone, but speaking from the heart. 3 years ago, on a rainy October night, a 7-year-old girl walked into our parking lot and changed everything. She had $6, a grandmother's dying wish, and more courage than most adults I've ever met. She asked a stranger to be her dad for 2 hours. What she got was a family that will protect her forever. He paused. The Margaret Sullivan Foundation was built on that little girl's bravery. In 3 years, we've helped rescue 127 children from dangerous situations. We've provided resources for 340 families escaping abuse. We've trained over 2,000 people to recognize the signs of trafficking and exploitation. And we've changed laws in 4 states to better protect the children who fall through the cracks. The applause was thunderous. But tonight isn't about numbers. Tonight is about the person who started it all. The girl who taught us that the smallest voice can shake the biggest systems. The girl who proved that $6 in courage can change the world. He turned toward Emma. "Emma Grace Sullivan. Red Dove, get up here." Emma's legs felt like jelly, but Stone squeezed her hand, and Melissa kissed her cheek, and somehow she found herself walking toward the stage. The applause swelled. People stood. Bikers who looked like they'd never cried in their lives wiped their eyes. Emma reached the microphone. It was too tall. Someone rushed to adjust it. She looked out at the crowd, found Stone in the front row. His eyes locked onto hers. "You can do this," his expression said. "I believe in you." She took a breath. 3 years ago, I was scared of everything. Scared of my stepfather. Scared of asking for help. Scared that if I told the truth, no one would believe me. And for a long time, I was right. No one believed me. The teachers thought I was troubled. The church thought I was lying. The police thought I was making up stories. Every single adult I trusted let me down. She paused. Then I met Stone. She looked at him. I didn't know his name. I didn't know anything about him, except that he looked scary and sad, and maybe, just maybe, he'd understand what it felt like to hurt. So I walked up to him in the rain and offered him $6 to be my dad for 2 hours. And he did something nobody else had done. He knelt down, he looked me in the eye, and he believed me. Her voice cracked. She steadied herself. Grandma used to say that real evil wears nice clothes and friendly smiles. Real protection comes from the people society teaches us to fear. She was right. The nicest man in town was the monster. The scary bikers were the angels. And the only reason I'm standing here today is because I trusted my grandmother's words when everything else failed. She pulled something from her pocket, the fabric pouch with $6.47. I still have this. I never spent it. Stone tried to give it back. He said I didn't need it. He said I had him. But I kept it anyway, not because I need it anymore, because it reminds me of the most important thing I've ever learned. She held it up. You don't need to be strong to be brave. You don't need money or power or connections. You just need enough courage to take one more step, to ask one more person, to believe, even when believing hurts, that somewhere out there is someone who will help. She looked at the 47 survivors in the front rows. To everyone who's been hurt like I was hurt, to every kid sitting in a dark room right now, wondering if anyone will ever believe them, to every person who's been told they're lying or crazy or making things up, I believe you. Stone believes you. Everyone in this room believes you. And if you can find the courage to ask for help, I promise you, someone will answer. She turned to Stone. You told me once that brave means being scared and doing it anyway. You were right. But you taught me something else too. You taught me that family isn't about blood. It's about choice. It's about showing up. It's about keeping your promises when the world falls apart. Tears streamed down her face. You didn't have to save me. You'd lost your own daughter. You had every reason to stay closed off, to protect yourself, to turn away. But you didn't. You chose me. A scared little girl with $6 in a red dress. And in choosing me, you saved yourself too. Stone was openly crying now. So was half the room. I used to wish I had a real dad, someone who was there from the beginning, someone who knew me before everything went wrong. But now I understand. The dad who chooses you is more real than the one who just happens to share your blood. Stone didn't have to love me. He chose to love me. And that choice, that decision he made every single day for 3 years, means more to me than anything. She walked to the edge of the stage, reached out her hand. Stone, can you come up here? He hesitated. V8 pushed him forward. He climbed onto the stage, looking like he'd rather face a firing squad than a microphone. Emma took his hand. When I was 7, I tried to hire you for 2 hours. You gave me forever instead. She pulled an envelope from her dress pocket. This is a letter I wrote for you, for your birthday, but I want to read part of it now, in front of everyone. Stone's voice was rough. Emma, you don't have to. I want to. She opened the letter. Dear Stone, thank you for believing me when no one else would. Thank you for keeping your promises when everyone else broke theirs. Thank you for teaching me that family is choice and love is action and home is wherever we're together. I know I can't replace Lily. I would never try. But I hope that maybe, in some small way, loving me has helped you heal, because loving you has healed me. She looked up at him. You gave me back my mother. You gave me back my voice. You gave me a family of 200 bikers who would do anything to protect me. You gave me hope when I had none left. I don't have $6 anymore, but I have something better. What's that, sweetheart? I have you, forever, no charge. Stone broke. He pulled her into his arms, lifted her off her feet, held her the way he used to hold Lily, the way he thought he'd never hold anyone again. I love you, Emma Grace Sullivan. I love you too, Dad. The word hung in the air. Dad. Stone sobbed, couldn't help it, didn't try to stop it. The room erupted, applause, cheers, whistles, the thunder of 200 bikers showing emotion they usually hid. V8 approached the microphone, waited for the noise to die down. Well, I was going to give a closing speech, but I think Emma said it better than I ever could. He turned to Emma and Stone, still embracing. Brothers and family, 3 years ago we voted to give Emma the road name Red Dove. Tonight, I'd like to propose something more. The room went quiet. Stone Callahan. You've been a brother for 25 years. You've bled for this club, fought for this club, nearly died for this club. But what you've done for Emma, what you've done for this foundation, what you've shown all of us about what family really means, that's bigger than anything you've done with your fists. He pulled something from his vest. The brothers have voted. Unanimous. We'd like you to accept the position of Foundation President. Full-time. Paid. No more fixing bikes unless you want to. Your job now is to do what you've been doing for 3 years. Protecting kids. Building families. Showing the world that scary people can be angels and nice people can be monsters. Stone stared at the patch in V8's hand. I don't know what to say. Say yes, you idiot. Emma tugged his sleeve. Say yes, Dad. Stone took the patch. Yeah, okay, yes. More applause, more tears, more proof that the world could surprise you if you let it. Later, after the ceremony, after the photos and interviews and endless handshakes, Stone found himself alone with Emma and Melissa outside the clubhouse. The sun was setting. The parking lot was emptying. Some night, Melissa said. Some 3 years, Stone replied. Emma was quiet, looking at the sky. "What are you thinking, sweetheart?" "I'm thinking about Grandma, wondering if she can see us." "I think she can." "I think so too." Emma pulled out the $6.47. "I want to give this to the foundation, to help some other kid who needs it." "Are you sure?" "I'm sure. I don't need it anymore. I have everything I need." Stone took the money, felt the weight of it, remembered the first time Emma held it out to him, trembling and desperate and full of impossible hope. "Your grandmother would be proud." "I know, but Stone..." "Yeah? I'm proud of you too, for not giving up, for letting yourself love me even when it hurt, for becoming the dad you didn't have to be, but chose to be anyway." Stone pulled her into a hug. Melissa joined them. Three people who'd found each other in the wreckage of their lives, building something new from the broken pieces. "Stone?" Emma's voice was muffled against his chest. "Yeah? Can we get ice cream?" He laughed. The sound surprised him. It still surprised him even after 3 years. "Yeah, Emma Grace, we can get ice cream." They walked to the truck together, three figures silhouetted against the sunset. And somewhere, watching over them, two grandmothers and a little girl named Lily smiled. Because this is what Emma Grace Sullivan proved on that cold October night when she walked through the rain with nothing but $6 and a grandmother's dying hope. Miracles don't come from heaven. They come from gravel parking lots and leather vests and the courage to whisper 6 impossible words to someone who looks scary but might just be the answer to every prayer you've ever prayed. They come from broken people who choose to love again, from systems that fail and strangers who don't, from red dresses with hidden pockets and grandmothers who fight even when they know they'll lose, from children who refuse to stay silent and bikers who refuse to look away. Emma was 9 years old now. She had a mother who loved her, a father who chose her, a family of 200 brothers who would ride into hell for her. She had scars that would never fully heal, memories that would never fully fade, nightmares that still came sometimes in the dark. But she also had proof that the world could change, proof that one voice could break through when 1,000 others failed, proof that $6 and courage and a grandmother's love could take down judges and traffickers and systems designed to fail. She was Red Dove now, not a victim, not a survivor, a fighter, a speaker, a force, and she was just getting started. Because somewhere tonight, another child was counting their last dollars. Another child was gathering courage. Another child was preparing to take the longest walk of their life. And thanks to Emma Grace Sullivan, thanks to Stone Callahan, thanks to Margaret Sullivan and every biker and agent and survivor who refused to give up, that child had somewhere to go, someone to believe them, someone who would kneel down in the rain and make a promise and keep it. This story is not about bikers or trials or trafficking rings. This story is about a little girl who asked a stranger to be her father and found a family instead. This story is about the truth hiding in a red dress and the courage it took to reveal it. This story is about the people society teaches us to fear, turning out to be the only ones worth trusting. And this story is about you, because every person who reads these words has the power to be Stone Callahan. Every person has the power to kneel down, to listen, to believe. Every person has the power to say to a frightened child, "You don't need $6. You've got me." The question is whether you will. The question is whether, when a small voice whispers in a parking lot, you'll be the one who answers. Emma hopes you will. Stone believes you will. And somewhere looking down from wherever good grandmothers go, Margaret Sullivan is already preparing the next red dress, hiding the next truth, sending the next child toward the next unlikely angel. Because that's how the world changes. One child at a time, one promise at a time, one whispered plea in a rainy parking lot that shakes the foundations of everything we thought we knew. $6 can't buy much, but $6 in courage? $6 in courage can buy a miracle.